This is the CHRILLCAST. I'm Chris.
Ahoy!
What? Ahoy.
My name's Will.
And I'm Andrew.
And I'm the greatest showman. But hey, you know, we're all something. All right. Fastest man on two legs. All right, let's see here.
What an intro. What an intro.
Okay. So guess what we're talking about? No, really, because we don't know what we're talking about either. So that's where we're at today. But a Nintendo Direct did just happen like 10 minutes ago. And there's a lot of things to be happy and excited about.
You know, 5 hours, 4 hours.
Yeah, it was like several hours ago. That was a joke. So it's not like new news, but it is new news. So that's that. Okay. Let's go to the Nintendo Direct today.
Okay.
Let's talk about it.
We want to talk?
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of coverage on it. Everyone's like, this was amazing. I'm so shocked. And it's just like, why?
There was nothing shocking there. Although I was surprised in the footage for GBA that they had Fire Emblem in it.
I was yeah, I'm excited for that game, but then the rest of them, Minish Cap, I'm excited for.
Minish Cap's a goat. That's an amazing game. All right, I'm gonna pull up the browser here so we can all look at it.
But even so, it's like everyone knew this was gonna happen. So why are you like,
well,
oh my god, I can't believe Nintendo released 30-year-old games. Holy shit.
This is like Nintendo basically covering their base for this year. Like, we need something that's more important than just nothing. Oh, great. Got a bunch of people bobbing their heads. No, thank you.
I just want to point out I didn't watch this. And I haven't looked at any.
I actually just skipped through it to look for everything that was going on. That's all I did.
It's Nintendo. I'll find out.
Miss much,
eventually.
Man. They had the Game Boy's coming, Game Boy Color.
This is what Will cares about right here.
Legend of Zelda had another like promo teaser.
But to be honest, that's cool because Nintendo does the directs and they launch stuff the same day. Like, for example, you can download Game Boy and Game Boy Advance right now.
Yep.
And it's got there's 6 games in the Game Boy Advance section. I think there's 4 or 5, maybe 6 in the Game Boy section.
This is exciting, but at the same time, it's like, why didn't I already have this? That's all I can think about. Anytime they add something to the Nintendo Switch Online, I'm just like, why? This is a super old ass game. You're not adding any new features. Why can't I just have it all of them now?
I mean, I don't have to buy it on my Wii U anymore now, at least.
Well, it's the Game Pass model all over again. Andrew is like, right, Game Pass is taking over, even though this is not Game Pass.
Yeah, I know. Hey, wait a second. Is this the Sean I think it is?
I don't know.
I don't have any idea.
Who do you think it is?
Our friend Sean, the one that had the baby like 4 years ago. In the early episodes of it. When Eric and Sean had their baby like a billion years ago.
Oh no, I'm not thinking.
It's probably not that, Sean. I'm just joking around.
Some guy had a baby 4 years ago? Oh my gosh.
You don't remember making that joke a million
Yes,
years
I do.
ago?
It's just, gosh, that was a deep cut for us, man.
Go find out what episode that happened on. If you comment which episode that happened on, I will literally.
Also, Chris, you would have realized it was SA if you had looked at the chat, like on actual YouTube, because he's a mod.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It's SA.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah, go ahead.
As far as Nintendo goes, I probably don't really care about any news they come out with.
You had a Switch before me or Will ever had it.
I don't care what their news is until they announce their new console, because currently they are just on life support.
You're a next-gen elitist, Andrew.
Dude, no, it's just the fact that the Switch now is kind of obsolete in the sense
Nintendo is still putting out good games, first parties. Like, at least be honest about that.
Yes, I'm honest about that, but we have to be honest about the fact that they're constantly lagging everyone else because they're on this weird.
Yeah, I also have to be honest. Why are you flashing that light on purpose? I have to be honest that their first party titles, they're fine, but most of them are just reskins of old games.
They're the same game.
Yeah.
I was expecting Metroid Prime 4. If they're gonna put out Metroid Prime Remastered, I expect 4 to come out soon.
It's just I never feel blown away by what Nintendo does these days at all, because every game's already existed.
Yeah, I mean, even Zelda, like, I'm super pumped for Zelda, and I'm definitely going to buy the game. But looking at the footage today,
that's the thing.
Yeah, we're looking at the footage, I'm just like, wow, I'm not thrilled about this. And I was trying to think back, like, how did I feel about Breath of the Wild when I first saw that launch trailer? And
I don't think you were really blown away. I think I convinced you to buy it.
Yeah, well, I played it at your house for the first time. I think that's what ended up happening.
That was what finally convinced you, wasn't it? When you played it
Breath
at
of
my
the Wild,
house?
yeah. Well, I got Switch on or Claire on board because she played it in the GameStop. So
That's right. Yeah, I remember that now.
See, I wasn't as impressed by Breath of the Wild, but that's just me.
yeah, I really liked it, but I like that kind of gameplay. So
Okay, so Metroid Prime Remastered, that one was pretty cool, and I was wondering what it was going to cost. What's your guess, Will? I have it up on screen, but I'm not going to show you until you take a guess.
is it just the first game, or is it all of them?
It's just the first game, and it's remastered in widescreen HD.
$60.
Nope.
I'm going to say 35.
Nope.
70.
It is $40.
Damn it.
Both physical
I was
and
closer than you were.
physical and digital. It's for actually that's pretty good for Nintendo. They're usually pretty good about.
I'm shocked that they have it cheaper, but again, this is a game that they've already remastered, right? Haven't they already?
No. It was not remastered. It was ported.
Can I just point out?
No, because they took it from the Wii to the Wii U, and they didn't really do anything to change it. So I mean,
have
yeah,
they
it was
changed this
technically.
at all, or is it just it looks nicer?
Oh yeah, no. They fixed it. So like originally the controls are really what you're here for, because the original GameCube they didn't have the dual joystick controls, so you had to deal with the awful camera angles and awful camera controls of the GameCube. And then with the Wii they did the Wiimote, so they had the GameCube controls, and then they had the Wiimote replace the GameCube controls. And now they're actually doing like a Skyward Sword style where they're redoing the controls where you can play it with the dual joysticks with no Wiimote in widescreen HD. So it's probably the best version of Metroid Prime that will ever come out.
So, but it's basically nothing's really changed. It's just better controls.
Better controls, better graphics. So if you've never played it,
is it really better graphics, or just like it looks a little bit better because like higher pixelation or whatever?
Nintendo clearly did some work to this because this looks really incredible. I'm
gonna need a side by side because right now this looks exactly the same.
Well, I can tell you, like, just the fidelity of the Switch is just better. Like, it's gonna just.
That's what I'm saying. Is it just because it's like the FPS boost that you get on the Xbox? It's like, everything.
I mean,
better.
It looks like they did some work with the HUD. Like, you can see the HUD doesn't look like pixelated junk. So they did some work with
side by side. And they're gonna unlock some really important feature behind a freaking amiibo again, like they did with Skyward Sword.
Did they? Oh yeah, that was like the added feature they did that with, right?
Yeah, but everyone like makes the game 1,000 times better. So like, why the hell wouldn't you have the amiibo?
Well, let's find out. Let's find out if they have anything in here that literally says amiibo.
I bet it does.
Or
they just haven't announced it yet, and they're gonna be like, "Look at this great feature." It's been so long since I played Metroid Prime. I can't think of one, but Skyward Sword, they have it where you can like zap to the sky whenever you want to with the amiibo.
I don't know what they would have on this game. Oh, let's see. Multiple bonus content. That's just the art gallery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
Regardless, honestly, like I'm still like kind of excited about this because I do like the series, but again, it's just the same damn games over and over and over again.
Hey, this is a new game, Fire Emblem Engage. Actually, I like that one a lot, other than the weird anime style of it.
And also I don't know what I'm just in a bad mood today, but the Nintendo Switch Online, those games, I've played all those games so many effing times, and I bought them so many effing times.
But now you can pay for a subscription for them.
Yeah, I know. It's just like, God, what is going on? That's like, as much as you hate on Xbox, and like I hate on Xbox now too. It's like I love the fact that I can take most of those games with me, so I don't have to keep freaking rebuying them.
Yeah, I will give the credit to Xbox for continuity amongst generations. That is a credit I will give.
Well, Nintendo used to do that, so it's
no, Nintendo never did that. They did one backward compatibility per generation.
Yeah, I agree with Chris actually, because the reason I had a major hate on for Nintendo for a while was when they went from the Game Boy Advance to the DS.
That one had backwards compatibility.
Dude, no, I was just pissed because of the Game Boy Advance to the DS, and then they went to the new DS after that, and I was just very disillusioned with the fact that it felt like within like a 4-year period they came out with like 4 different freaking DSs. It was annoying.
They removed after like 4 years after the DS came out, they removed the Game Boy Advance port and gave you Wi-Fi and an eShop.
Yeah, I just want to point out
They gave it to you, Andrew. You will accept it and like it.
I didn't make enough money to buy the proper freaking thing at that rate of upgrade. Exactly. So it's like, okay, you're doing this in a way that kind of screws over kids who don't get to pick what they're getting if they're not, rich. So
no, Will, are you getting the Tears of the Kingdom special $130 edition? Oh, wait a second. Did you realize that Tears of the Kingdom is $70 instead of $60?
Yeah, I did, and I'm super pissed about it because it's not a next-gen game.
I'm upset about next-gen games too, though. Come on,
listen, I will give you Nintendo this one piece of credit. I would guarantee you that more work went into the development of Tears of the Kingdom than a lot of $70 titles out there.
So what?
So like if something's I'm just saying if something's deserving of $70, I would say Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is probably actually worth $70, unlike a lot of other games.
They've sold 1 billion Switches. They're gonna make the money back at $60. I don't understand.
But they're gonna make even more money back at $70.
Yeah, because they're greedy little shits.
It'll probably drop to 60 within like a year.
I'll be honest, I'm surprised that they're not charging more for physical editions versus digital.
They can't. They literally can't.
Yes, you could.
No,
you easily could.
No, you actually. So Nintendo's policies with their store, their eShop, is that they basically can't.
Well, I'm saying everybody. I'm not talking specifically Nintendo. I'm talking about the entire industry as a whole. Because think about how sneaky that would be. If you were giving discounts on digital, think of how many people don't like the idea of deleting their games to be able to have enough space on their hard drive when they want to play a different game. You just end up selling extra storage like crazy. So I'm a little surprised that they don't just try to back way that, through I'm trying to be frugal.
It's very simple, the reasoning why they don't change the price digital and physical. And that's because if they were to give you the $5 discount that you would get from, not producing a cart and a thing, because it really doesn't cost that much money to produce a cart and a physical box, especially in the mass quantities they do it in. That's why limited run games ends up upcharging like $10 or $15 when they sell you something, because it does cost them money. They're not doing mass production. But Nintendo, it doesn't cost them much. And so if they did lower the price digitally in the digital store, they would hurt their retail partners, which they still heavily rely on for advertising and marketing. And then they would cut the Nintendo out of their store because they wouldn't, if they can't make money because Nintendo's undercutting them in the digital store, then they won't do it anymore. That's the simple version.
I understand. I still feel like GameStop's overrated. GameStop.
Okay, so let's just say you did that to GameStop. You're also hurting Walmart, Target, Meijer, all these other overrated stores.
I don't go to them to figure out what games I want.
No, but you might go there in a pinch to go buy a game.
Yeah.
I could just as easily buy the game through the store. I think I have been convinced more to buy games by Sony showing me that store page on the menu screen than I have been by walking through a damn store, because these days I don't like walking through a store needlessly. I don't want to go.
Are you super? No, never mind. You're the one that's like super for digital games. Never mind.
I hate this. I hate this whole conversation, Andrew.
I'm not actually for them. I'm just like.
I'm ready to move on.
There's a way to own digital games. That's all I'm saying.
I'm ready to be done with this conversation, Andrew.
All right. Anyway, I'm excited for Minish Cap, even though I'm jaded against this entire concept at the moment.
Okay, here's the Game Boy games that will be available. Let's just talk about them. They've got Tetris. Okay, there's already Tetris 99, a billion other ways to play Tetris. Super Mario Land 2 with the 6
Why isn't the first Super Mario Land on there?
I'm sure that's coming later. The Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening,
but
DX.
Why wouldn't you start with the first one?
You're asking the wrong questions.
They don't even have the games I want, so no.
Gargoyles Quest, Game
of Life. Did I see Wario Land 3? I'm actually kind of excited. And also Kirby's Dream Land. I'm also excited about that one.
Alone in the Dark, The New Nightmare. Metroid 2. That's and actually here's the thing. I checked out Metroid 2 right before the podcast started. And they actually did all the Super Game Boy enhancements to it. So it looks really nice on the Switch, actually. So if you ever wanted to play Metroid 2, the original version, the version on the Switch plays really well. And it's not that weird green and gray scale stuff going on. It's like actual colors from the Super Game Boy. Wario Land 3 is super fun. If you never played a Wario Land game, this is a great one to start with. I've never played. I tell you, I have played Kirby's Dream Land on the Game Boy Advance, but everyone was on there, so I did do that once. They also teased a bunch of stuff here, but here's the Game Boy Advance games: Minish Cap. We already talked about that. Super Mario Bros. Advance 4, which is just Super Mario Bros. 3. WarioWare Inc. I don't even know what Kuruin is, but I don't care. Yeah. Mario Kart Super Circuit, which I was pretty impressed with how well the online looked for Mario Kart Super Circuit.
The game just got trashed by Tasty. Well,
okay, but imagine a world where they bring like the Pokemon games to the Game Boy Advance system on the Switch, and you can actually play them online.
So if they brought in Pokemon in this, I would have been pumped.
Yeah,
but they didn't.
I would not be surprised if they did. Like, I bet by the end of the year, they'll be announcing Pokemon Yellow at least, or Crystal, or both.
Ruby, they should bring Ruby,
and Sapphire. They would probably bring in the like Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald.
I get Silver, Gold. I mean, there's my thing
Silver
is
and Gold just so much to improve the original 3, and you actually got to play through the entire Kanto region when you were done. So
I wish they could just put all of the games into like one universe. Like that's what Nintendo should push for is a new like Pokemon Legacy game where they just combined all the games into one.
Yeah, universe. but really, what Nintendo should do is a Pokemon MMO. It could just literally be the Pokemon games, but like MMO style online, where you could like whatever region you want to be in, go through all 8 gyms.
It would
then have a tournament in the middle, and like the tournament would be like not a battle royale, but like a Pokemon tournament. Yeah, that's really what they need.
And they could even make it with.
I think Pokemon would outperform Fortnite if they did that. Especially if they added like Pokemon Stadium style mini games.
Is it like the actual game tournament, or is it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Battle Royale style tournament.
Imagine in order to qualify for the Pokemon tournament, you have to finish an entire region through their Pokemon League to qualify for the Pokemon Master Championship, and then like they grab one person from each of the 8 regions. So everybody would like. Everybody would do it.
Would you be playing against each other players in the local area? Okay.
Yeah, like if when you joined, they would look for a player from each of the 8 regions or however many regions there would be and do a tournament. Boom, done.
I mean, I think that's not a terrible idea. I'm just, like I said, I'm disappointed that none of those games have made this list. Yeah. And when you go down, it's actually insulting. More games will be added. I see Pokemon, but it's the trading card game. That's like kicking you in the balls. That's all I'm saying. Like,
but here's something cool. They've never put this game on like a next gen console. Oracle of Seasons and Ages. That'll be cool. Yeah. Although I was hoping for a remake.
Why are we getting the Pokemon trading card game?
That's dumb. Metroid Fusion though, that's exciting actually. Although Metroid Zero Mission needs to be on there too. But the fact that they had Fire Emblem teas, like that's all I needed to know. That literally was enough for me to be like, all right, I'm happy I've got the next year subscribed so I can play that day one. This was something that people have been asking about this forever because you know what delayed this game, right?
Yep. A global conflict that we don't need to name.
You rang? No, I'm just kidding. I don't know if you can hear that. One of my children is screaming. Can you hear that in the background or not?
Very minor. No, it's not a big deal.
All right, just want to make sure.
Just for the audio files out there, they might hate you, but that's
They added the Wave 4 to the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I was actually surprised they added.
Isn't Splatoon pretty? That's a pretty big game for multiplayer.
They added more of the DLC for the new Fire Emblem already. Like they literally just dropped Wave 1, and now they're already dropping Wave 2. So like it makes me feel like they're blowing their load early on Fire Emblem Engage waves.
See, you completely skipped the Splatoon portion.
I'm going back. But I'm excited for this game. I have it pre-ordered. So I move on to the Mario Kart 8. We did that. All right. You said Splatoon 3. All right. Go ahead.
I mean, I'm just saying that Splatoon, I feel like this of all games kind of is exemplary of the whole Nintendo's kind of screwing themselves with not having the next gen console yet. Because
I disagree.
I mean, this should be way more competitive for like online tournaments and stuff, I think, compared to like Fortnite and all those other battle royale games. And I think it suffers from the fact that it's on the Switch. personal opinion.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I think this game is still selling really well, though.
It does, but it's like it's so isolated. It's not like Fortnite where it's on everything.
Yeah, but I mean, Nintendo would have to rethink its entire model and allow its games to be played on.
Nintendo's not putting a first party on every single system.
No, I'm not even saying like I'm not even saying they would have to do that. I'm just saying that if for some reason the Switch was more friendly as far as graphics and everything and capability to third-party games, you might have more people who are just purely Switch playing, and you might have more focus on a game like this than Fortnite, for example.
I'm giving you this look because that's an insane opinion to have.
It's an insane opinion. I'm more than happy to admit it's an insane opinion. I just really hate Fortnite.
Did you know that the Switch has surpassed the PS4 now in sales?
Yeah, and for some reason a game like this isn't actually competing with Fortnite. So
well, yeah, Fortnite has like 1 billion players and it's free to play. Splatoon 3 is a $60 title.
So
there's anytime you got to pay $60 up front, you're not going to sell as many.
Fine, then Nintendo should have made it free to play. Honestly, I don't think they understand what they have in Splatoon.
Do you play Splatoon? Do you like it, or you just know it's very popular?
I have played it. I don't actively play it. That's the thing, because I
have Splatoon 1. There's still people playing that.
So okay, the problem here is I don't actively play my Switch as my main go-to console. For all of the reasons I've said, is third-party games are on other consoles, which I also like first-party games too. So, therefore, the Switch, I have to really want to play, a Nintendo title for me to load it up.
Mm-hmm.
So, you get what I'm saying, Chris? It's like, yeah, a ton of people own the Switch, but it's not the first thing that turns on when they turn their TV on. Because
if you're going to play on TV, but if I'm like sitting in my living room and I want to, I knew he was going to say this.
Yeah.
Like the Switch is my go-to.
Well, you're the one who can
actually. That's not even true. The Vita's my go-to.
He is so preoccupied with portables that he's not going to have an unbiased opinion on this.
Well, okay, look, if I have the TV to myself, the first thing I turn on is either I hook up my Steam Deck to my TV because it has access to more games than anything else on my entire console shelf, or it's the PS4. Those are the first two things that turn on if I have the TV. And then if none of the games on those two systems appeal to me, then I might switch. Well, also, I have this headache. I have this headache with my opinions. I have this headache of a hookup with my Switch because for some reason my HDMI switcher doesn't like to recognize the Switch at all, and so I have to do a little. I have to be a little bit finicky with it, and then it works. So that also deters me from wanting to turn the Switch on at all.
I just want to point out that you're kind of agreeing with me.
The bulk of the time, though, I don't turn on my TV to play games, though. So there's that.
I know, but I'm just saying a lot of people are more towards their TV than anything else. So the whole point I was trying to make is if you have more than one console and it's not the Switch, which if you want third-party games, you're going to have another title, another system than the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably going to be loading up that other system first. And then now you have the choice. Oh, what do I want to do? Do I want to go switch systems now, get up and go to that system and play Splatoon? Or do I want to just switch to Fortnite? Just saying. That Nintendo, I don't think, realizes how much of an impact not having the same quality of third-party titles is. I think it's a huge impact. Personal opinion.
I agree. I think that they could be doing even better if they were to compete for the third parties with a better system.
If they could just get third party support, period, not even with a better console, then I think yes, they would compete better.
I have a hot take. I don't think the next system is going to sell as well.
I agree with you, Will. I really don't think it will. I think it'll be probably more expensive, and it'll probably be more cumbersome because the Steam Deck has proved people will buy cumbersome things. And I think the first rendition, at least the very first rendition of whatever the next Switch is, will flop.
just don't think they'll hit the right mark. I think they'll be in between something.
I think Nintendo's between a rock and a hard place because they can just keep selling Switch systems and probably break the record for the highest selling console of all time. Whether they keep selling them at the rate they're going or if they sell them a little slower, they'll still probably beat out the DS and the PS2. But the software sales are slowing down because of the exact reasoning you're saying, Andrew. It's just because the first parties sell pretty well, but everything else is like not pushing the system.
I just want to point out that something as simple as FIFA is inferior on the Switch. Something as simple as FIFA, okay, is inferior on the Switch.
But Nintendo will never not have Mario.
I understand. I'm just letting you know that a game as simple as FIFA is an inferior product. Explicitly told to you when you buy it, it's an inferior product because it doesn't have the same game engine capabilities because of what the Switch's limitations are. So that's pretty bad. I feel like that's pretty bad. That's not a hard game.
I mean, but people are willing to sacrifice a little fidelity for portability. The Steam Deck proves it. I mean, the Steam Deck's not a 4K machine. It's a 720p machine, just like the Switch. It's got higher processor capability.
Okay, but if they're going to do that, then the docking station needs to be a hell of a booster.
Yep.
Like that's my opinion. Like you need to add more processing power through the docking station, and that needs to be their focus with the next iteration. Don't try to put it all in the handheld. Make it where there's like a legitimate reason to go to that TV still and be able to play those third-party titles. If you want Mario on the go where you're playing with your friends, because you're probably not going to give me a third-party title you really want on it, Will. Like, name anything that's like a massive player RPG or something. You're not necessarily going to want to take that with you to party with friends or something.
The next Witcher or something. I mean, the Witcher 3 was fine, but the draw distance is terrible.
Right. So that's all I'm saying. I think they need to focus on the docking.
Yeah, station. I mean, even as something where if you have it in the dock, it boosts it for the TV, but also like have like a cloud boost where if you're close to the dock, it could boost your console.
Or it's no different. Make it no different than how VR works for PlayStation, right? Like the VR headset is basically connected to the PS4, PS5, PS4, and boosted that way. So,
you're saying like if you were that would require you to have an extra processing or an external GPU in the dock.
Yeah,
right? Which
now that's what they should consider.
I still think that some combination of the Switch and Wii U could work well, and that's exactly what I think Will's kind of alluding to. Is that
if the dock, talking about.
If the dock actually, I think the dock on its own should just be able to play games without a Switch even connected to it.
I think if you were to take and keep the current handheld Switch, right?
And just make a 4K dock.
And you made a dock that added extra processing power and everything, especially if you were to plug it in and play all the games through it. I think you could probably have that Switch U instead of the Wii U, basically. And I think that would actually still be successful because you're keeping everything that made the Switch great, but you're giving it that next-gen capability.
Yep.
And I don't think that is an impossibility for Nintendo to achieve.
They've already proved that the newest dock, the one that came with the OLED Switch, actually the chip has the capability of being a 4K upscaler, the chip in the dock. And it does have a upgradable firmware.
See, but then you got to think about this too. You think of how much goodwill they would get with everyone who owns a Switch already, right? If it's compatible with the current Switch, because you could sell that new docking station at a reasonable price.
Yeah, they're like $90 right now.
Even though the system combined will be more expensive if you have to buy a Switch in the first place, but you'll be able to basically sell a expensive docking station to all the existing Switch users at a much more palatable price.
Can I name it the Switch Up dock?
I was just going to say it's the Switch U because they're not that creative.
I want the Switch up.
Like, they'll recycle that shit.
That's what they need. They need to call it the Switch up. Not the Switch 2, not the Switch
up.
U.
Yeah, actually,
Switch
I
up.
can see
I actually
that.
kind of like that.
I like it. Yeah. No,
that's what they need to call it, the Switch up. And then it could be the Switch up, Doc. Then you could have like Bugs Bunny. What's up, Doc?
I'm just saying that's definitely the route they should take. Yeah. But I don't have faith that they'll take that route. So
that'd be the easiest marketing.
I still
ever.
think they could stream to cloud to the existing Switch and make it upscale, or at least look a little bit more better. A little better with extra processing power.
Maybe not to the existing one, but they could probably do it for whatever new Switch they make. So it'll be a new console, but they can make it where it's palatable. You can buy both over time. Like you can. Do
you realize that you're basically saying that the PS4 Remote Play would work great with the existing Switch? That's basically what you're saying.
Yep.
That's basically what you're telling me.
Okay, all I'm saying is that the Remote Play for PlayStation 4 was not bad. So
it's really freaking good. Like it works with mobile phones. It works with the Vita.
Okay, I'm describing the xCloud, which is the same concept. It works really, really well.
The question is, does Nintendo have the technology and the understanding to run that? Because they've never had a good situation with cloud.
Well, they're going to partner with Xbox because Xbox is putting Game Pass on it.
You think they are? That's what you keep telling me.
Probably will.
It's
all right. So clearly we don't care about Kirby, so we're moving on from that one.
No,
I mean, I don't care about Xenoblade 3.
To play the original, but I don't.
What, Xenoblade 3 or Kirby?
You're saying Kirby, I think.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say you don't play Xenoblade. Well, that seems like so counter to what you.
No, every time I bring it up, like, Will, you're gonna hate that game. Don't buy it. I'm like, all right.
What, Xenoblade?
Yeah.
I mean, the more I think about it, though, like you might actually like Xenoblade. It's just a massive.
Is it turn-based? Because that's a hard sell for me.
It's not turn-based.
Oh,
okay.
I hate.
It's probably very similar to Kingdoms of Amalur.
Oh, and you tell me I don't. Why would I like that?
You won't like the menu system with this game.
Well, it's got to be better than the Fable 3 menu.
Well, I mean, yes, but the menu is used for combat, so it's not like it's like.
Oh, is it like?
It's kind of like KOTOR. That's why I've always said you wouldn't like it, because it's kind of like KOTOR.
Yeah, KOTOR is nice and slow, so you can get away with it. But if there's actual action, then
no, this is about positioning and selecting the right attack.
No, that's too much.
Kind of like Dragon Age.
Kind of, maybe.
Okay.
It's got basically on the Wii. It had like a menu that popped up on the bottom, and you had to like roll through it with the D-pad until you found the one you wanted, and then kind of move your guy around, and then attacking from the back, you'd like slice him. It's a really bizarre combat system, and if it was turn-based, I'd probably like it, but because it's not turn-based, I don't like it.
Did you like Dragon Age's combat system or no?
I haven't. Okay, look, I have played Mass Effect. That's my BioWare experience. That one in KOTOR.
Wait, have you never played Dragon Age?
That's a fact.
Oh.
It's a fact, Jack. All right, Chris has to stream it.
Well, maybe you'll buy Fire Emblem Engage now that they've added this character to it. Camilla.
It's animated today.
She's from the Fire Emblem Fates game that I don't really care too much for.
And yet you're always playing it, Chris. I wonder why.
No, this is DLC for Engage.
They put a strap in the wrong spot, though.
I don't think that strap was there in the 3DS version, to be honest with you. I could be wrong, but I don't remember it being there.
That's why it's my favorite game.
I don't even know what this is.
I don't even care.
It looks like trash. Just go on.
I mean, so I'll be honest. This looks like to Mickey Mouse what Velma did to Scooby-Doo.
I would not go that far with it, but I looked at the gameplay trailer, and it's not my cup of tea. It's a platformer.
It's not a platformer that I found interesting. What is so? Look, they brought Sea of Thieves. No, I'm just kidding. Imagine if they did.
Finally, more people get to play it.
I mean, it is it's way bigger than I thought it would be. Like, it's 15 million players. It's pretty big for
they have it concurrently, like 200,000 people playing it all the time.
That's amazing, actually.
What's this Octopath Traveler game? Because it actually...
Have you never heard of the first one?
No, but the art style looks pretty cool.
So there's already one out. Octopath Traveler 1 was on the Xbox and the Switch, and it may be on the PS4. I don't remember which.
I think it is now.
But I remember Game Pass got it before PlayStation because they paid a bunch of money to put on a Game Pass. But Octopath Traveler was on the Switch. It's HD 2D. It's one of Square Enix's new experimental things that worked out really well. But it's basically like the old school RPGs. Like, you know, imagine like Final Fantasy, but with much improved quality of life from the 90s and much better graphics and a lot more story going on. That's what this is.
Okay.
Yeah, there's not a spinoff, but a game that's made by the same company that's very similar. Do you know what I'm talking about, Chris?
Project Triangle Strategy.
Yeah, there you go.
That is nothing like Octopath Traveler, actually.
Well, then it's not the same thing. People were surprised that they announced the second one so soon after that other game.
Oh, they did like Chrono Cross or something.
What's
in the same style?
What's the story? Basically,
I've never played it. I have no idea.
Oh.
There's essentially 8 characters though, and it spirals out into those 8 characters. That's why it's Octopath Traveler.
This game is super popular, Andrew. So if you're interested in it, you should.
If you like RPGs at all from the 90s, this is like your cup of tea.
Right.
If you didn't like RPGs in the 90s, probably not going to like this either.
I enjoyed them in general, so I'll consider looking into it more.
This was before they put the J in JRPGs. I'm just kidding. They got the Bayonetta Origins, which is bizarre.
I don't really care about Bayonetta.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked okay. Like, I'm not going to buy it, but it looked okay. Don't care about Dead Cells. I'm not going to lie. There's nothing I care less about than a roguelike like Dead Cells. I know it's a good game. I just don't care. Oh, this was pretty cool. Etrian Odyssey is an Atlas game, so of course I would know what it is. But Etrian Odyssey is basically one of those games where you would not really know how directly to port it to the Switch because it was a 3DS series of games. So how do you go from dual screens to one screen? And it looks like they finally figured it out. So it's pretty cool. It's all three. It's three.
Switch like this.
It's 3 games on one cart though. So you get all 3 of the Etrian Odyssey games that were on the 3DS.
I will say so. Like, I know we're hating on the Switch a lot, but it's amazing how much it can fit on that freaking cart.
Right.
I think the biggest cartridge you can get is 64 gigs, and most people opt not to get that because it's very expensive to produce that.
The Witcher 3 is completely on the cart.
I know.
I don't understand
how crazy is that?
Well, it was never bad tech. It's just different.
And the load times are much faster on the Switch than on other consoles. Like, although load times aren't really a thing
The Series
anymore.
X is unbelievably fast.
I'm sorry.
I'm assuming the PlayStation 5 is too.
I meant the PS4 and the Xbox One have longer load times than the Switch.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, by the way, Chris, so we're having a really hard time with Sea of Thieves when we're playing it.
Is it because I have an Xbox One?
Yes, that's what it is. Like, I was actually marveling how quickly it loads now. It's like, it's a Series X. That's why.
Well, I take it back. I did have it on PC, which probably would have been faster, but I don't have it on PC anymore.
Okay. Anyway, that has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something. It means something, I guess. This
list right now seems heavily focused on remasters, though.
Yes.
Although I did not actually, I missed this one. Bat and Kaitos. That's a pretty significant game from the GameCube era, but it is a remaster. You're right. This looks like a different game. I don't know what Tron Identity is, but it's definitely not a port.
Yeah, but that doesn't look that graphically. It didn't.
Yeah. I mean, is Tron really popular because they're making another film that I don't understand?
It was popular. I thought the first movie did pretty well. But...
Is this a Steam game originally, Professor Layton, or has this always been a Switch game?
Oh, this sounds really familiar to me. So.
It does sound familiar to me too, but when I saw the intro, I thought it was Hat in Time, and it wasn't. Samba Amigo.
Chris loves rhythm games.
Yeah, I don't care. Don't Nod is a Life is Strange style game. And I never actually played Life is Strange, so they're
good. Yeah, they're fine.
Fantasy Life I, the girl who steals time, features Thailand building, time travel, and more. Nope.
Not for me.
Katamari Reroll is coming to Switch again. I thought it was.
I forget who it was. No, someone that came on the podcast loved this series.
Elijah,
okay.
He was on early. Ghost Trick, Phantom Detective, Murder Mystery Switch. Nah, I don't care. Don't care about Omega Strikers.
Free to play.
Free to play.
Soccer and air hockey. Wait, what? Soccer and air hockey?
Wow, what a combination.
Why air hockey?
It wants to combine the best parts of both.
Oh, that's amazing. I didn't realize this at Air Hockey
Fashion
until just
dreamer
now.
entourages. That's what
Andrew,
you want.
that's a day one pickup for Andrew.
That's yours, Chris. You already won it. You already bought it. It's not even
Deca Police. Players as a futuristic police. So we're what Judge Dredd, but Nintendoized.
Cool.
This list is getting really.
Yeah.
Master Detective Archives Raincode. I don't know what this is.
I don't know what. Okay, I'm sorry. This list is not good. But overall, it's not good.
Did we miss a good one? Ghost Trick? What was Ghost Trick? Did we miss that one? Oh, this one. It's the side-scrolling murder mystery. Yeah, I don't really care.
I mean, yeah. So I would say overall that list is kind of meh.
I don't know. Spawn Wave asked for everyone's ranking, and I said it was a B. It was fine.
A B.
I'm not. Yeah, like
I would.
Wait, how did they
B
not have
minus.
Pikmin 4 on this list? Did we miss Pikmin 4?
Did they talk about it? I
Yeah,
don't even remember.
that was the first game they opened up with. I think was
it's Pikmin.
Pikmin 4 is like ready to go.
Like,
I mean, I don't care. Pikmin's a big deal that they're actually bringing it back, just like Metroid.
Did it ever sell well? Like I know it's like a cult
Pikmin 3
game
on the Switch sold decent for a Pikmin game.
I mean, everything sells well on the Switch though, so it's not.
Hey,
I mean, if
they
you
got
sell a
every
million
Pikmin
games,
cult
you
member.
failed.
They got every Pikmin cult member to buy it.
I think this is definitely more like a C+ because it's mostly remasters.
That's fair.
That's my opinion. It's like,
Yeah, no, like
it's
I get that because like I want to be excited about the Game Boy games, but again, it's like the same crap again.
That's like so easy. That's low hanging fruit for them to have done.
Also, we're never going to get the GameCube because they're going to come out with a new system before that happens.
Yes.
And those are the games I really freaking want to play. So I'm just so.
I mean, they were some of the best. The GameCube games are some of the best games that are the Nintendo games. So it's like they still have one of the best Mario Karts. So.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's talk about this other story. Now that we're 45 minutes in and nobody's watching, we got to talk about this.
Okay.
What one? Oh, Hogwarts.
Hogwarts Legacy is dominating Twitch right now. Despite so here's the thing.
What is on the side of your screen, Chris?
I have no idea what that is.
Click on that. Go back.
I ain't clicking that.
No, is this good? I haven't looked at any reviews yet.
You want to know what this is? It says celebs keep finding new ways to be naked in public. Oh, God. What
the game, Chris?
Yeah, the ranking. All right, so sorry. Going back to.
I ain't clicking that. No way. We're getting off that ad.
Yeah, it's getting really high reviews. People are acknowledging that there are glitches, not game-breaking ones. The overall, it's kind of buggy. So clearly, this is a developer who hasn't done this before. But
I clicked on it.
Really enjoying this.
The wrong link.
Oh my gosh! No, I
clicked on the TJ and Amy. I clicked on the TJ and Amy.
Overall, they like the game. Good story structure, good gameplay, satisfying.
How do I stop this thing? There we go. All right, it's gone now.
I have not played it yet.
Okay, because I decided not to pre-order it just because I didn't.
Yes.
I didn't want to be disappointed. And
yeah, same.
I mean, I'm okay with that because I'm sure there's going to be patches and all sorts of stuff anyway. So
IGN did not give it a 10, which means it's an amazing game.
What did they give it?
Yeah, it's like if a game hits that sweet spot at 8 to 9, it's like got just enough controversy that they couldn't give it a 10, and at the same time, it's not a bad game because they didn't give it a 10, feeling bad for it.
I don't know what their ranking system. It doesn't make any sense to me, but
it's like if it's a great game, it gets an 8 out of 10 because it doesn't need the hype from a 10 out of 10.
I guess, yeah. There's definitely games like I do not understand that it's so low or so high. But this,
Last of Us Part
the
1
people who I know
deserved,
played it also like it.
Last of Us Part 1 probably deserved all of the 9 or 10 out of 10 it got, whereas Last of Us Part 2 did not deserve a 10 out of 10, even though I got it.
I will say I gave credit where credit is due. A couple of these outlets actually reviewed it and did not mention the crap surrounding it in that review. And I actually considered trying to figure out how to donate to the writers because I was like, thank God someone did this. Because there are a couple of reviews I was reading where I think it was Games Radar maybe. Someone did sort of like a Metacritic thing where they actually just laid out all the reviews that this game got, and there's a bunch of outlets that wouldn't review it. Just like, we will not support this game. It's like, come on, this has nothing to do with what you're
especially seeing as it's probably the most hyped like story of the general video game buying population right now, age-wise. So
this is exactly what I was getting at. Age usually means pretty good, original, and functions. 10 really means they need to cater to their readers.
That's fair. I'm probably gonna pick it up. I've wanted to pick it up, just like I said, wasn't willing to do the.
I mean, if you wait a week, it can give you a better idea. Because I might be able to get it, and then also like people in my work will have finished it. So
that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I don't work with people.
All right, so here's
what they think of them.
Yeah.
So.
Here's my opinion on the whole situation. No one is forcing you to buy this game, but my goodness, this campaign against Harry Potter fans is insane. There's a lot of artists and authors out there I don't like, but I separate the artist from the art. Are people incapable of this nowadays?
Yes.
And
that's literally my whole opinion right there.
Also, I have a bigger complaint. And my complaint is that basically only 2 people out of the entire movie franchise have actually defended her.
Yeah. They all should just be kissing her feet, honestly.
So,
they shut it down.
But no,
Service
for real, I'm actually very disappointed that so many of those actors and actresses are that ungrateful.
Yeah, well, they got their money and ran.
Yeah, basically. And it's just like, you know what? You've interacted with her for how many years of your lives? Yep. And you would have known if she was a good or bad person in that time.
Yeah, exactly.
And you've never
they should have been speaking out a long time ago if she was that bad.
And right now, it's just one of those things where they're afraid to have any controversy tied to their name, so they're picking the easy thing to do, which is abandoning her for no reason. None of it would matter if they defended her. It's the simple fact that they're eating each other, basically, that it's even an issue.
Yep.
They can at the end of the day, they can always just say nothing
gamers.
At all.
No, I mean, they can say she's entitled to her own opinion. That's right. That's all they have to do. They don't have to endorse it. They just don't need to condone her. Condemn her for. They don't need to condemn her for whatever. It's like she's not doing anything that you're not allowed to do or not do. It's like
she's expressing an opinion in the UK, Andrew. So she might have a problem. I have no idea what their laws are.
There's lack of freedom of speech in that country.
You know what's laughable is like I believe you can actually play as one of the people that they're saying that she's deleting from the world in this game. So you're literally boycotting a game.
Who is she deleting from the world? I don't even.
I'm just trying to dance around the topic.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just flat out say dodging.
Okay.
There is a trans character in the game, and that's the group of people that is boycotting.
I believe you can play as a trans character too.
I don't know if you can play. I know there is a character in the game.
You can change the inflection of your voice and change your outward appearance. So yeah, you can easily do that.
Okay. Then technically, yes.
Cosplay.
I'm sorry. You are correct. You can technically play as that character. I've never played it. I just know that after all of the boycotting and the issues, it came out that there was a character in the game that represented that group. And I was like, wow.
Also, again, I love the fact that the marketing did not center around that completely.
Yeah.
So it's like, I want this game even more now because and it's like a perfect RPG. You can do it if you want, but it's about the game, not about whatever is the hot topic for the day.
They don't have Quidditch, so I'm not in.
Well, that's probably going to be a DLC, but yeah.
Why don't they? Yeah, it'll be DLC. You're right.
Because Quidditch is its own game with its own physics engine, and it would require a lot of work.
I have heard that if you are really looking forward to going to the classes, that's more of a mini game and that not really the focus.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So some people, I guess, were kind of disappointed in that, and I'd rather fight dragons.
There's literally no classes that you.
No. You go to class, but it's treated more like just
whenever you want to.
Yeah, you learn how to make potions and stuff.
It's probably a lot like the way Persona handles classes, where you get snippets of a class for maybe 5 minutes.
I'm going to fight back on this, actually. Not fight back, push back on that comment, just because one of the people I listened to that reviewed it said that they're expecting it to be like Persona, and they said they love Persona gameplay, and they're disappointed that it wasn't more like that.
Oh, really?
They should have done it more like Bully. That would have been great. You can get detention.
Andrew shows up day one and he's Draco Malfoy.
Dude, honestly, if they had made a Harry Potter version of Bully, that would be dope.
He's like, Andrew's walking around, stupid mudbloods.
Just hitting everybody with curses in the hallway. No,
he's
honestly,
like, Avada It's like,
no, not that drastic. No, honestly, there's
bye, Dumbledore.
I feel like they should make it where you have to go to classes, at least as part of the story.
Andrew drops out of Hogwarts 10 minutes in.
You might have to do some, but it's not like the full-fledged classroom experience that they're expecting. I have no idea.
How much time did Harry actually spend in class? Let's be honest.
Dude, I'm just saying, if you read the books, they were in class.
I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
No, but like honestly, getting detention for skipping class might not be a bad element to the game. All sorts of stuff like that.
Whoa. What kind of detention? Are you talking like XXX variety here, Andrew? Like what kind of detention are you thinking is going to happen?
Why did your mind go that way, Chris?
I don't know.
You have to go freaking clean the trophy.
That sounds even worse than what I said, Andrew.
No, that's a legit punishment, man. Yeah, Chris, stop looking at the ads that you have for.
Andrew's like,
ads,
how can I be naked in public?
You know what? If you have an invisibility cloak, technically.
Andrew's like, I solemnly swear I'm up to no good.
Okay, we've discussed this before. Man. The Harry Potter universe has a lot of elements that if they
let's not go down the Polyjuice Potion thing for the fifth time.
Okay, there'd be very, very dark elements to that school reality.
That's true.
Love potions, Polyjuice potions, invisibility cloaks, all sorts of stupid stuff like that. I mean, just imagine how abused that would be.
Okay, can I just butt in here with what I actually wanted to talk about though?
Don't pretend like Neville wouldn't steal the invisibility cloak to go be a peeping Tom.
Cool. He's gonna go ogle Professor McGonagall.
Neville would totally do that.
Yeah.
Neville's gonna go ogle Professor McGonagall.
Gosh.
No. Anyways, let's see here. The thing that I was really annoyed about was and the reason why I had posted that tweet was because I saw people were refusing to play it on Twitch because they were getting bullied by the group that doesn't want them to play it. And that's just sad.
Just don't watch it.
Yeah, it's whatever. There's people who are upset to be upset. That's all they want. They serve no purpose. I wonder if they're even real people. That's on a certain level. If they're not bots, they're NPCs. And that's I don't
I actually considered streaming the game just to get the hate views, honestly.
Dude, I'll stream it with you.
I thought I was streaming it just to get the hate views.
I'll stream it with you.
If you hate me that much that I'm playing this game, that you're watching it, you're literally just proving a point by watching my.
Hey Chris, you want to stream it? And make a bunch of Polyjuice Potion jokes with me.
Dude,
not on our main account. Not on our main account. On an anonymous account. I'm just kidding. Oh man. Here's the thing. This is crazy. This is 1, 2, 3 paragraphs to say it's okay if you play this game as long as you're not a transphobe. Okay, whatever.
Is the fact that that's so much of a focus with this game is sad.
The funny thing is I didn't see her at I know that she wrote Harry Potter. Clearly we all know she wrote Harry Potter, but she wasn't in the marketing at all. So why are people associating her? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people worked on this game. Portkey Games is not a one person dev, and their one person is not JKR. It's somebody else. A lot of other people.
It's the fact that they can't handle that she's rich and successful.
and not buying this game isn't going to make J.K. Rowling less money.
Yeah, but they're just
she's already gotten their money.
Yeah,
she's not going to go destitute because you didn't buy this game.
Isn't she a billionaire? I mean, she's
Hassan gets bullied all the time. He can't handle it anymore. He was born to be bullied. Oh my gosh. I mean, every tweet I've ever seen from him is him crying about something. So whatever. He is what he is.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I got to say. Like, go, play the game you want to play. We'll never tell you
if
what
you
to
love
do.
Harry
or not
Potter,
to do.
just continue to love Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
One more
Let
tweet
those
I got to bring
people-
up.
let
Okay,
those people
I got to bring
go
this tweet
live
up
in
because I think it's
fan fiction world.
relevant. There's nothing wrong with people having, moderate amounts of escapism in their lives.
Yep.
It's when you become fully escaped from your life, then there's a problem. Let's see here. Here it is right here. We at the CHRILLCAST will never tell you what to do unless it's subscribing to our channel. You should always do that. Our community is awesome.
Endorse this.
Come be a part of it.
I want to tell people to do all the time.
I might have an opinion that contradicts that. Get off TikTok. That's my
yeah, exactly.
Don't download Chinese spyware. That's one thing I will tell you not to do. So
we will encourage you.
Have you seen the meme of people getting upset about the balloon, but then looking at TikTok?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's something I wanted to get into. Okay, like people get very angry about this spy balloon, but like if you really want to think about from a technology standpoint, what's in your pocket and what they can get off that versus what's in that spy balloon, like how many cameras that China has access to in your pocket from TikTok?
With TikTok,
you granted them permission to use your camera
everything.
and your microphone at any time they deem necessary.
But so, Chris, you're forgetting something. There's a bigger issue with the spy balloon. It's not a spy balloon. It's a trial balloon. And it just so happened to conveniently fly over all the airspace that if they were to, do like an EMP or something, it'd be very catastrophic. So the simple fact that we demonstrated that we allow a balloon like that into that type of vulnerable
and apparently multiple times.
Multiple is bad. Like that's all I'm saying. Like
I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just saying
no, but like
the amount of data sniffing that they've already done with your cell phone. Everybody's cell phone.
Though on the concept of spy balloon instead of the principle of the vulnerability that was just demonstrated, because
are you suggesting the bubble might pop?
Hey, all I'm saying is if an EMP like that were to go off, our grid is screwed. Okay, like it's 2 years to get the transformers replaced. All right, 2 years.
Also, people will panic immediately. I mean, it would be pandemonium because people would be able to use their cell phones. And think about what would happen.
You know what the stats are, right? Like 90% of the population dies. Okay,
I've seen the stats.
If we lose electricity for a year, it's so many people are reliant on medications that will only be preserved through electricity cooling them. So the simple fact that the concern was debris falling on people, that's not an excuse to allow the balloon to go over an extremely vulnerable section of the country. It's just not.
I'm glad we've gone down this route. Thanks.
I'm sorry. Hey, an EMP, we wouldn't have any video games for 2
Exactly.
years.
It's related.
It's very related. Okay. Like,
so here's something that I think there's something that people don't understand
in real life. Okay.
I think there's something people don't understand about like technology is how vulnerable it is to any kind of source of radiating electricity, right? So like they did tests back in, I want to say like Cold War era where they put something 250 miles into the sky just to see what would happen. And they found out the hard way that they actually knocked out satellites in space from doing that.
A nuke test. I think it's like over Kansas or something. There's one of those places where if you were to detonate a nuke in low atmosphere, like just outside,
we're getting canceled tonight, boys.
Dude, no, like if you detonate a nuke in the atmosphere at about that position, you knock out the entire U.S. mainland's electrical grid. This was.
I really don't know. I know that there's been a lot of discussion on hardening the grid, so who knows at this point? But
we haven't. That was not continued. That policy of pushing for hardening the grid was not continued, and it was not included in the Inflation Reduction Act. It was omitted. So that's not part of our grid plan, and it's depressing because
you just need to live in a bubble, a giant Faraday cage bubble.
It doesn't hurt. Maybe have a Faraday cage for something. If you have any devices you want to protect.
I have an agent from China in my closet, but I'm really angry about that spy balloon. Red is apparently an FBI agent. We didn't know about this. All right. Well, we got to be careful about what we say going forward.
Yep.
Anyways, long story short, we're not going to tell you what to do other than, don't download TikTok because it's cancer and it's spyware.
Or
it's both of those things at once. Or Epic Games. Yeah, well, Epic Games is just a virus. So
I know. So don't download that either. Just saying.
Your brain is a virus. Anyways. Yep. I guess I got to ask you guys this question. Are you guys willing to join the Neuralink net? Because I'm not.
No.
We might as well take it down this path tonight since here's where we are.
Well, we had other topics on the docket, so.
Yeah. Andrew wanted to tell us how great all these shows are. His crap is being dangerously based. That's a better crime than the person who accused us of watching Fox News like 4 weeks ago or whatever it was, and that we were like, neither of us watched that.
I loved that accusation because we both were just like, nah.
Neither of us will watch that.
No. Dude. Okay, fine. I'll change the topic because I was saying it earlier. I'm kind of pleasantly surprised by Netflix's Dragon Age Origins. Dragon Age, whatever the
show, the anime.
Yeah, the animated show on Netflix. It's kind of silly, but not like it. It's not like it's gonna blow you away, but it's fun. It's kind of fun to watch. It's what you kind of expect out of like the dialogue in an actual Dragon Age game. And it just made me kind of realize that if some of these streaming services wanted to make some just easy to make, enjoyable content, they should really focus on trying to expand the stories and tell the stories from certain video games with expansive lore. So think Skyrim, Oblivion, think Dragon Age games. There's so much lore that you pick up in the background stories that you're told that if they ever wanted to just tell you a good story, they could just take that and make a small mini series. Doesn't have to be this all-encompassing thing that goes on season after season. It's just, here's this one little story, 4, maybe 6 episodes. Maybe it's just one whole season of 10 episodes, but you could do so much with that. And I think it's overlooked.
I want a Mass Effect anime now.
Dude, even The Witcher Blood Origin, like, obviously they have their own things that they won't change. And maybe if you're too familiar with it, it might not be as enjoyable. But, like, as far as to the person who's never played the games or just wants to get an idea of what caused the humans and monsters to show up in that universe, I think The Witcher Blood Origin is actually not a terrible series. It's only like 4 episodes, so it's like 4 hours long. And that's very low cost of time to just get a picture that you weren't, like, not a picture, a perspective on the actual series. So it's like, I don't know. I think Netflix is actually doing good things with how they're trying to tell those stories.
You're the first person to say that about that series, but
what?
That it was.
I'm not saying it's good. That one. You're talking about The Witcher Blood Origin?
Yeah.
There's a lot wrong with it. Don't get me wrong here, but like to a person who has only watched the like actual series, that's not going to be problematic.
Okay.
I think, like,
you should definitely play those games, man, and also read the books.
Yeah, I know.
You definitely should, like, especially with the remaster coming out. All right.
No, that's what I'm going to do.
So Andrew, I'm gonna hard cut you off here because it's like 10 o'clock.
Oh.
But if anybody wants to know more about what Andrew was talking about earlier, this is a safe link to share. Wikipedia has you covered if you want to know what Starfish Prime was. That's that EMP test that we were talking about earlier. So if you want to know what the impact would be, this is a scientific, historical perspective of everything that happened. And it's safe to share because it's from the 60s. So,
I just want to point out, too, that back when we only had telegraph wires, there was that solar flare that it also caused an EMP. So we had to replace a ton of telegraph wires.
All right.
Would have been pretty terrible if it was anywhere close to the modern era.
Hey, Will, I got to ask, do you recommend people get a PhD?
No. Send tweet.
Anyways, maybe next time, if people really liked this conversation about just technology, maybe we can dig into it, maybe discuss some things that we don't normally discuss on this podcast. But as always, sure. I am Chris.
And I'm Will.
And I'm Andrew.
And we're going to be gone like the grid in an EMP. And I'll see you all. We'll see you all
on the next
next one.
What are you doing? You're like not ending this podcast.
There must be a delay.